Hi. So I'm trying to do a live stream. I'm just gonna dismantle this cluster over here. I think it's gonna be a long video, so I thought might as well do a live stream. Yeah. So also we have a few people in the chat. So welcome. Yeah. So let's get started then. So I'll be dismantling. You can I guess you can ask some question along the way if you have any thing that you want to ask me, but I can only look at the chat once in a while. So yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so let's remove the magazine. Basically, I'm gonna dismantle the whole thing, so you get to see everything, the internals and whatnot. Guess the easy thing to dismantle and to dismantle the stock first. Okay, so remove it. So this is the stock that I designed. I mean the attachment. So I just fit any of this kind of worker kind of attachment over here. So yeah, so I'll just remove that. Right. So next, I think I'm gonna remove this piece over here. This is basically the red dot side. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is probably going to be a long stream. It'll take a while to dismantle everything, especially the internet as well. So basically, the 3D printed parts are all available in my Thingiverse account, so you can go there and check it out. And basically, I split the some portions of the 3D parts into two because my 3D printer is rather small. So as you can see here, this is one part, this is one part. Later you get to see. Maybe I can sort of remove it a little bit. So there's a lock screw here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a gap over here. Okay, because I need to print them in separate pieces. Basically my 3D printer is just 140 by 140 by 140. So in a way, there's a lock nut here, M5 by 8 kind of lock screw, and you can use like a red dot side to clamp them together to make it even more secure. All right, so that's how I do it. But with this should be good enough as well. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, I think I lost some of the. I better secure it first before I lose the screw. Yeah. So I'm gonna dismantle everything. So make sure I have everything. All right. Next thing. All right. Let's remove all those accessories first. Yeah. By the way, this thing over here is also a sort of like a laser, as you can see. All right. So anyway, I just open it up. Okay, and you pry it open a little bit. Let's see. Okay, are there screws? Cannot even remember. Anyway, yep. Okay, I need to release it a little bit. Yep. Okay, so I will choose those type that is like clamped together. It's easier. Can't really slot in with the other design, so that's why I choose this as well. Anyway, I think this is a good fit for what I'm doing. All right, so another piece gone. All right. So the rest are basically my 3D printed parts, so I can remove them part by part. I need to get a container so that I don't lose them. Let me just get ready a container to keep all the 3D parts first. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, I saw in the comments. Sorry, I cannot put. I don't really know how to pronounce all your names. Saw the comment. Yeah. So thanks for the support as well. Thanks for printing out my part and test them out. Thanks. Yeah. All right. So let's carry on. Okay, I'm going to remove the motor cover itself. So the motor covers is you can actually remove it with this piece of screw over here. Okay, so just easily remove. So later on, when I dismantle everything, you'll know that on the other side is basically just the a nut that I glue onto it. So now this piece can be removed, so you can do some, clean up, vacuum up your dust when it get build up over time. So let's do the other side as well over here. Okay. All right. Okay, so remove this part. Next, let's remove the top part over here. So there will be a lock screw, okay, that I use. Just remove. Okay, so you can just detach it. So basically that screw that you see over here matches with this guy over here. So yeah. So by the way, what I'm using to lock them down is basically, let me just show you this type of screw, right? So it's just like a socket kind of thing whereby you tighten with your Allen key. Yep. All right. So this piece itself, maybe I'll just remove the other one as well. So this just slot out, then it's out. So it's like this. And there's actually another piece on top here. Okay. Again, I use the lock nut. Okay. Okay, so it's separated. Again, why I need to do this is because my printer is really small. The print bed is only 140 by 140 by 140. So I can only print this thing over here, this orientation. No support required. This guy is also printed this way. No support required, but you do have to like add a brim. And then this guy is printed this way. So they are all small pieces that can be printed separately because of my limitation, I guess. Yeah, so that is the top. All right. Okay, the muzzle is simple. Okay, you use just unscrew it. Okay, this also acts as a lock for the battery cover. Of course, this was where it all begins. I watched Mr. Nathan's video on how he used one of the sort of attachment to lock the Rapidstrike cover case, and that's when I started to try on 3D modeling, and yeah, so that's when it all started. So this is the piece. By the way, this piece have make up of one, and then there's this small piece over here to be printed out separately. So you stick it together. It's sort of like when you close it, you at least fit this gap over here. You'll not see the gap of the battery case, this small gap over here. Yeah, so that's why. Okay, you have this piece. Let me keep this as well. And let's move on. The bottom piece is actually made out of 1, 2, 3 pieces as well. Okay, so I'll remove one over here, the other one over here. Okay, so this will remove. All right. Okay. So this is going to remove as well. Okay, so these two pieces, there are 2 holes over here, so that you can lock to this piece. Why do I want to do that? Because this piece itself actually locks to this piece, right? So okay, so there's another one in the middle. Just remove again because of the limitation of the print bed size. I have to do it this way. Now I can remove. So this over here actually locks to this point over here. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So for watching, not too bad. Yeah. Okay. So for watching, say hi in the chat. If you have not say hi. All right. So these are the 3 pieces, as you can see. Oh, okay. So let me just screw it in again, so I can keep it nicely. By the way, I'll take the opportunity after I dismantle everything. I'm gonna paint the orange part to some other color. Yeah. So this will fit well. So this becomes a big piece like this. Yeah. Keep this. Now what's next? Okay, this top portion over here, the top rail. Okay, again, a lock. Okay, now this will remove. So this lock over here locks with this piece over here. So you can remove. And then this piece, there's no lock. You just push it out. It basically acts as a sunshade for the OLED, so that it's under the sun. At least you won't get to see, the glare will not obstruct the view of the OLED over here, right? Yeah. Okay, so remove. Again, it's printed without support, most of the pieces. I think the only piece that requires support is this guy over here. All right, what's next? Okay, I'm going to remove this piece first. Okay, so that's a lock. Let me put away the battery. Okay, not enough. Okay. By the way, I hope there's audio coming out, right? You guys can hear me talking, right? Anyone in the chat? Can hear me talking? Is it okay? Is the volume okay? Okay, the other side. Maybe let me check the audio a little bit. Yeah, I think that there is audio. Okay, so I'm gonna unscrew. All right, so 2 rails out. All right. So yeah, so almost there, almost all the cosmetic is out. Now I need to remove this selector switch over here. So the way I do it is actually secure from the outside. There are 1 and 2 this time round. Okay, the other previous mod I had was I secure it from the inside. You'll see the reason why later on. Okay, so let me just remove it. Okay, it's out now. Because the selector switch is on the other side of the blaster, so if I were to secure it from the inside, it's going to be pretty difficult for me to close the 2 parts together and with all the wiring. So what I did was, it's actually there's a small connector eventually. Then it's just like this. So when I put it back together, I just make sure that this part is, I can protrude it out a little bit. Then I'll connect, then I'll close it up. So it's much easier for me to assemble the entire blaster. Right, so this is just a 3-way switch. Unfortunately, I think this switch is pretty difficult to find. I realize the seller is no longer selling it, but you can use any 3-way switch. Yeah, that's available. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So that's the 3-way switch, and why I secure it from the outside, so that I just need to make sure this wire is out and then assemble and then just push it in and then lock it down. yeah, so make my life easy. So that's that. All right, so now the boring part, I need to unscrew all the screws, so bear with me. Try my best to see how long it's gonna take. Yeah, so yeah, so this is gonna take a while. Okay, Rapidstrike have quite a lot of screws, right? Yeah. Yeah. So thanks guys for watching. So yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, I think I can take a look. Oops, sorry. Let me see. What printer do you use? Basically I use the Fresh Forge Finder. So it's a very pretty inexpensive 3D printer. It have a there's like a leveling assist, although it's not there's no heated bed or anything. The print size is a bit small. It's 140 by 140 by 140. But I would say it's a very easy printer to start with because I do not have any background in 3D printing and whatnot, so it can't fully assemble. Yeah, so it's pretty easy for me to get started. Oh, okay. I realized I forgot to screw this, is it? In the previous assembling. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else are you guys talking about. All right. Okay. Volume is good. So that's good. Okay. So there are a lot of screws. So yeah. So I guess we can chat. Yeah. By the way, I think I post up the circuit diagram as well in my GitHub account. Yeah. So there's an overall sort of circuit diagram, and then there is a breakdown of sort of individual part, like where's of how the wire on the flywheel side. So it's easier to follow if you're going to look at the diagram. So it's all under the GitHub. The program is also there. The item list is also there. Okay. Yeah, so you guys can go check it out if you're interested. All right. Yeah, unscrewing all the screws is always the part that I dislike. Is there a screw here? Yeah. Sometimes I'm afraid to strip the head of the screw, and that's probably bad news. Yeah, but let's try to do this. All right, let's try to get all these screws. Okay. By the way, when I started on this modification, one of my main objective is to sort of create paths whereby you do not have to do a lot of shell cutting. In fact, that's always what I wanted to do when I go into a mod. Basically, it's my modding preference because I cannot really do a lot of integration project or whatever in my site. It's going to be very dusty and whatnot. So I have 2 kids. Yeah. So and they'll be running around, messing around. So yeah. So I wanted to design parts and do as little shell cutting as I can. I don't even require the Dremel for most part of it. Yeah. Even for this part, I sort of screw all around the so-called parameter, and then I'll just cut it out. Yeah. Are we done? Is this the last? No. There's still a very long screw. This one. This is the one I always fear that I'll strip the head. Let's get it out. Okay. Initially, I wanted to make a video of the dismantling, but it's going to be a long video and it's take time to edit. So I say, might as well I just do a live stream. So I hope it's okay. All right. So is that all? Is that all? Let me just. Is that? Oh, two more. This, yeah, I think we need to remove this as well. Yes, this is probably the most boring part. Removing all the screws. Let me just make sure I don't lose them. Okay, is that all? Okay. All right, looks like we have them all. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so when I open it up, there's only one portion that I need to be careful of, which is the switch over here. At the bottom, I have two on-off switch and the safety. So when I split it up, the safety, again, I have a sort of a connector. Can disconnect and then, ooh, okay, all the screws are dropping off. Okay, let me just give me a minute. Let me just remove all these small parts. Okay, let me just, okay, give me a minute. I move this away first. I hope I don't drop it. Let me just collect the screws. Which one? Okay, there's one here. Let me just whatever. I think I'll just remove this part. So this, whoa, damn. Okay. Yeah, 3 more here. Any more? There's one more here. Okay. Okay, looks like we're all good. So this part, as you can see, you can remove it. Later, I'll show you where to sort of do the cuts for the wiring. All right. And then, okay, this piece over here, let's just remove. So we make up of 2 pieces. Can remove this piece over here with this screw. I think I used too long of a screw, so it's gonna take some time. Okay, I'm gonna take another container. Oops. Okay, so you have this piece over here is basically for you to lock down the piece here, which can be slotted out. Okay, so even if after some time you don't want the rail anymore, you can just remove this piece and this will be fully intact. Yeah, so this is how it's being designed. So it's just slot in and then secure this with the screw and you will not be able to move. Yeah, so that's that. This part is basically the OLED as well, so you can just remove this part of it. And then this stock over here, attachment. Again, you can just remove, and there you have it. The whole shell is empty for this side. Okay, later I'll just show you where are the cuts that you need to make, those that I remember anyway. So again, this side, this is the on-off switch. Again, I do a little small connector, so let me bring in the other side. Okay. Hello. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Right. So even from the other side, this is like the connector. So when I close it, I actually thread it out. Okay. This this switch. Okay, it is not in yet. So when I sort of close it together, I actually thread this out in this way. So so there is something extending here. So I'll close the blaster. Okay, then I'll attach this portion and just shove it in nicely. So it's easier for me to do the closing up as well. Yep. So let me put this aside. Okay. So this is like how I sort of when I close it up, it's just like this. All right. So you can see this one will thread inside, and then that's how it works. Yeah. So this is how I make it easy for me to close the thing. All right, so let's remove the small parts so that they don't jump up. Then we'll dismantle all these things. All right, part by part. So you get to see how I do all the wirings. All right. Okay, this portion is easy. This is easy to remove. Okay, one more screw. So for the jam door, in order for you to be able to slide in and out, because of the solenoid, you do have to cut this portion away, as well as this portion away. It's very easy to just use a knife to cut it. Yeah, and then you can slide in and out. Okay, this is you can keep this, right? So there's no big hole. You can also keep this, so there's no big hole, and also this switch over here, you just cut away everything, is put it there. It's basically for you to retain the jam door, better friction fit. And then this, of course, will keep the switch in place. So this okay. Let me just keep the switch as well. All right. So this is the OLED. Okay, as you can see over here. All right. And then this is how the two pieces go together. Oh, so you just go in like this, right? And then so you have the OLED display, right? Okay, nicely. Yeah. Okay, so that's how I do it. Yeah, so it's detachable like this. So yeah, so if anything goes wrong, I can replace the OLED easily. All right, I need to get some bags so that I can keep all my stuff. Yeah, let me see now. Okay, we still have 4 watching, so thank you. All right, so let me see, what do I want to remove? This I'll remove. All right, so let's just start from the get rid of this. So this is the Arduino, a Nano. So over here, the connectors are all connected using this sort of connection. So I can remove. Let me just remove all the connection. Okay. Yep. So you can see that there's a lot of black wires. Basically, they are all to the ground. Okay. So all the grounds will just lead to one wire to the ground of the board as well. Right. So this is just to make my life easy. So that it's sort of easy to disconnect. Yeah. So basically, I do my own crimping. So I find that one of the tools that's pretty good is this one. okay, to help my crimping. But of course, if you don't want to do that, you can buy those wire that's already crimped and then just use the appropriate length. Yeah. So this is like the safety again. So it's just one wire and then the one to the ground. So if you look at my Arduino code, you'll see that I have put some color for the wires, basically just for me to reference, so that I'll wire it accordingly, and then I'll do this up. So I split it up into two. One of them is actually for the selector and the OLED. I find that it's easier to tell the colors apart when I plan it that way, and then the rest are for the rest. Yeah. So this is that. So the rest, you can see there's all wiring. Okay. Yeah. So this is for the selector switch over here. Yeah. Yeah. So this leads to the Arduino. Yeah. Okay. So these are all the rest of the wiring, right? You can see that most of them is just two wire, two wire, one to the ground, one to the Arduino pin. That is true for the rev as well as for the trigger. Most of them are that way anyway. Yeah, so we'll go through that. I'll show you all. Okay, so this guy over here is the voltage sensor. All right, yeah, so you can get this very inexpensive. This is for me to calculate the battery voltage. The formula might need to change according to the board that you get. Right, so let's carry on to dismantle things. All right, let me see where we're at. Okay, let me get this out because there's a spring. We don't want to lose that. Okay, and then this out as well. There's a spring. Again, I don't want to lose that. Okay, now we are safe. Remove this. Remove this. All right, so this whole piece can remove. All right, it's the same Rapidstrike stuff. I replace it with a small micro switch like this because I like the tick 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 kind of feel about it. You can use the original switch. It doesn't matter because there's no high current going over it anyway. Yeah. So this is itself. I don't think there's anything that I cut out. I just remove this portion which is not necessary. Yeah. So the switches are again one color, one to the ground, one color, one to the ground. Yeah. So this one part. Maybe I should back this so that I don't mess up the wire. Let me see, do I have a good back? Cannot fit. Let me find a bigger bag. Yep. So I do have to assemble this bag in the future, so yeah, better keep things nicely. All right. So this is for my switch. Put it together. Okay, I'm gonna put it aside. All right, so that will come off easily. Now this I'll remove it. Yep. So there's nothing special, just the worker kind of stuff. All right. Whew. All right. So which one do I want to remove? Okay, I think I can remove the I guess a solenoid. So this whole thing can be lifted up. All right. The whole setup, and then there's only this part that I'll remove. So this is going to be the power is going to be supplied through a MOSFET, and then there's a signal kind of wire to the Arduino, whereby I will switch on and off. Switch on, you will go forward. Off it, you will return. The spring, I have replaced it. Yeah, so you can check the item list. All right. So now we have this portion as well. So this is also important for the MOSFET. So I'm going to show you. It acts as a wire covering as well as a guide to the MOSFET. So up. So this goes here so that you guide the pusher, so you will not make it wobble around like this. So this guide just slots here and it will guide it nicely. So I have an extension which is magnetic. Yeah. So this is for normal. This is for short darts. Yeah. So this is the solenoid. Okay. Let me just keep this so that I don't lose the screw. I'll keep the front part as well. Maybe I'll just dismantle the whole thing for you as well. So this whole thing, yeah, let's look at how we make it up. All right. Yeah. So over here, this is a solenoid 35 mm. So this case itself is separated into a few pieces. Okay. Over here. So we have, you just come off like this. Yeah. So the other side. So this piece itself, okay, you can remove as well. So it is actually interlocked when you place them together like this, right? Yeah. So this is to protect the obstruction of the wires. Okay, then you can remove this as well. Yep. So now you have the pieces, right? Yeah. So this goes here and here, right? Yeah. So later on I'll show you the internals. So this I'll keep. The screws I'll keep. Okay, and let's carry on. So now I can okay, there's another screw. Now I can remove this OLED easily like this. Okay, yeah, simple. Okay, so these are the only wires you need. Okay, the power and two more for the data. Right. All right. Next. Okay, so you can see over here. Okay, I'm going to. Okay. 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 So all this portion. Okay, so this is the on-off switch, right? So I have a connector as well. So I remove it. It's gone. So now I can remove this portion. Yeah, so it's easy for assembly. So for this piece, all right? Yeah, you do need support. I do print with support. I print it this way, and I have support. So the internal, I have a bigger space for me to house my Arduino and whatnot. So you have a so-called ample space to house my stuff. So yeah, so I print them with support. Okay, so okay, let me just keep this as well. So this is a stock attachment. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying the dismantling process. Yeah, I'm not too sure whether people like this kind of video, but anyway, yeah, I think I should do it to show how this whole thing fit together. Yeah, let me just back this. Okay, so do help me to hit the like button if you can. All right. All right. What's next? Okay, so you see a bunch of wires. It's actually not that complex. Now you have one. This guy. These are from the power supply, right? So, the battery. So I have lead one to connect to a MOSFET. There's a flyback diode as well. This is for me to connect to the solenoid. All right. So Yeah. So when you get a solenoid, it's just two black wire. It doesn't matter which one is no. There's no positive or negative. Yeah, it's just two black wire. So you can just choose one. Okay. So when it got connected, okay, it's just connected to the so-called the power source. But of course, if it's on, then of course this will be extended, and then if it's deprived of power, then of course it'll be retracted. But you do want to have a. So how do I control it? Basically, I control it through a MOSFET kind of setup. It's the same way we do for Flywheel. So I have the circuit diagram in the GitHub, my GitHub, so you can check it out. Yeah, so you do want a flyback diode so that you're not messed up your whole circuit. And then one that will be connected to the Arduino. So the Arduino is the one that is going to give a signal to open up the gate and then let the circuit complete for the MOSFET. So when you get a MOSFET, get a logic level MOSFET that will be efficient for logic level kind of processor like Arduino, whereby we just on off the 5 volt. Yeah, so this is one, and then I do a quick release. So this is by itself. Okay, so I can work on this piece by itself. Once it's ready, then I'll connect to the power supply, connect to the solenoid, and then of course to my Arduino. So that's how I sort of work on my mod, part by part, so that just don't need to be overwhelmed with the overall. So this is just one part. Yeah. Okay. So next, as you can see from the power itself, I do have another circuit that is coming off. Okay, so let's look at what are the things coming off. So it's split into two more, right? Two more. One will be to a BEC. This is a BEC. All right. This will give power to my Arduino. So this one is the one that will connect to the on-off switch, and then we'll switch it on. The circuit will be completed, and the Arduino will be given the 5 volt that it requires. So this gives a sort of a constant supply of a good 5 volt. There is from the batteries. Obviously, it's our LiPo, so you can't use the high voltage. So this will make it into a 5 volt, a constant good supply. Okay, so I detach it. Then this is again another piece by itself. Yep. Okay, next again, this will be leading from the battery itself. So what is this? This is the voltage sensor. So again, in, and then the other portion will be linked to the Arduino itself. So this is for me to calculate the current voltage. So again, remove. So again, this is just another piece by itself. Right. Remove. And there you have it. There's actually not much left from this portion, right? Now we have the front. Okay, I need to remove the flywheel. I think I should wear my glasses. Okay. Okay, that last piece, seems like it's a bit stripped off, so I might want to replace that. So I put it in a different container. Right, so that's the flywheel. You Okay, so that will be removed. Again, I make it such that it's detachable. Yeah, so it's detached. Yeah, so this time around I use the worker sort of motor just to check it out. Now, so for this part, let me take off my glasses. Yeah, so for this part, I'm running it, activating of the flywheel is basically through a MOSFET as well, and then a signal to the Arduino. So, but the MOSFET itself, we'll put a flyback diode, but I'm going to connect it directly to the motor like this. So it is actually closer to the source of the sort of the flyback kind of energy. So over here, you will see this green thing over here. What are they? Basically, they are just capacitor. Okay, I used to put it this way, whereby I have a capacitor for the two portion. This is basically to reduce the electronic noise generated from the DC motor itself, so that not to screw up my microprocessor and the OLED or even a 77 LED if you are using that. So I find some simple board. So instead of soldering to capacitor, I just use the board itself. Yeah. So instead of wiring it this way, I just choose to wire it this way. Okay, it's basically the same as long as the motor turns in the right direction. Yeah. So again, this is like a one small unit itself. So if I want to change the sort of the setup, I can. Yeah. So it's just one portion. All right. I'm gonna keep this. Bag it. And then this is the MOSFET. So again, I make it detachable. So this whole thing is, this will lead to the Arduino. This is the MOSFET. I don't have the diode inside here because it is sort of part of the motor, right? Set up over here. Okay, so yeah, so you can refer to the circuit diagram. You'll know the model number that I use for the MOSFET, as well as the diode and the register and whatnot. So that's that. So now you can see that this portion itself is just the battery. From the battery itself, I split one for the flywheel MOSFET. I split another one for the solenoid. Then two small one. One is for the voltage sensor, and then one for the BEC. So this is like the spine of the power supply. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, this is the one. Okay. Let me just get it up. This is the. Come on. This is the magazine release. Okay, just the original one. I just sort of cut off the wire and then join it back. One to ground and one to the Arduino signal, right? So definitely keep this, right? So yep. For the mod, right? Okay, let me keep this nicely. And then of course now I can remove this portion, which I'm going to paint. Then before I assemble this thing back. Yeah, right. So again, can remove this. So I'm going to remove it maybe after. All right. So now we left with just the shell. Finally. Yeah. So I've dismantled the whole thing. All right. So let's look at all the cuts that you need to do. Like I say, when I come into this mod, I try to minimize the cuts, shell cuts that I require. So first, of course, is the flywheel side, and then yeah, the motor side. So this is what I cut. So just now you saw that there's a removable kind of cover. So corresponding, I will have the so-called nut over here. Just glue on over here. Now, for me to have the adapter in for the short dart, I have to file down this portion over here, cut a little bit, file down so that it will not obstruct the so-called the magazine. Next, for the solenoid, right? So this will just fit in nicely, right? So when you fit it in, you realize this is protruding. You can sort of lever it. This line is protruding, so you can lever it. There's one pull over here, I think a very small one, just lever it as well. Yeah, so likewise for the other side, when you print out this portion, you just place it in. It'll just drop nicely, right? So again, this portion you just lever it. Okay, the screw is here. All right. Okay, I think there's one over here. Maybe you want to. Now, this is the one that require a little bit of cutting. Over here, you have to cut a little bit, and here, because I still want to lock it down, retain this portion. Let me get that. If you do any modification to the trigger group, then you basically want to make sure that you can still fit it in, right? So that you will not obstruct. Because I will switch here, that's why this obstruct a little bit. So I just file it down, and this part, file it down a little bit until I know that I can close this trigger group nicely. I just fit it in. Yeah, I have enough space to do that, and then you're good to go. All right. Yeah. So just make sure that you can close things nicely. Fit these two parts nicely. Okay, it goes in where it's supposed to go. Then you're good to go. Okay, let me see what other cuts that I require. Yeah, so this is the one that gave me a little bit of problem, but if you're using the original switch, it's fine. What else? Okay, so maybe here you want to cut a little bit more so that you have a little bit more space for your wiring to go. Okay, open up a slot so that your selector switch can go through. And let me see where else. And that's about it, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, coming to the mod, to suit my modding style, I really need to minimize the cuts that I need. Yeah, that's my objective. And of course, the other objective is I want to design something that I can recreate, easily. So now that I have all the parts, I know how the wiring go, how spaces can be put in place. Actually, I can recreate this mod pretty a lot faster, I'll say. Yeah, so that's always what I want to do for my sort of modification process. I want to create something that I can recreate. Yeah, and I want to sort of save time. So yeah, so you know that I don't do a lot of integration. Yeah, it suits my modding style and the space that I have and the time that I'm given. Yeah, so that's how I work. All right. Yep. So let me just remove the last piece. Yeah, over here, and then keep these screws. And there you have it. I have dismantled the entire blaster. Yep, I can touch up the paint, do whatever I want. Oh, I realized I didn't dry brush this part. Oh no, I'm just like Hasbro, only paint one part. Oh yeah, this part doesn't require because it'll be hidden, I think. I'm not too sure. Anyway, yeah, I finished the dismantling. We have 3 watching. Yeah. So may I know any question from the viewers? I hope you enjoy the dismantling process. If you missed the first part, I guess you can always rewatch the stream, how all the 3D parts go into it and how the wiring goes. I will probably do another segment on the wiring, going through the wiring diagram in greater details. So yeah, and then of course the part list and the diagram is under my GitHub. Yep. Yeah. So now I have two watching. Oh no, the viewership have dropped. Man, no, who is still around? Yeah, so I'm Tungsten. Yeah, so I guess thanks for sticking around with me in this stream. How long have we been going? I have no idea. Yeah. So do give me support. If you have not subscribed to my channel, so do subscribe. If you are here until this point, maybe I just share. So actually, I'm also doing a comic book with my friends. So if you can see at the left hand side, these are some artworks that some concept art. So this comic book is basically about a group of guys who modify blaster that get to save the world. So how does the story goes? You have to once the book is ready, I can probably I will do a crowdfunding, I guess. Yeah. So if you wanted to support me, you can support me then. But as of now, I don't really sell anything. Yeah. So it'll be good if you subscribe to the channel or help me share my content, and yeah, just that'll be great. Yeah. If you can do that, yeah. Let me see. Anything in the chat? Oh, I saw one. Thanks for taking the time to share. Yeah, my pleasure, man. Yeah, yeah. I actually enjoy doing all this stuff. So and so I guess the it's only myself and Brian that's in the stream right now. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, thanks for sticking around, Brian. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I am going to end the broadcast. So I'll see you in the next video. I'm most likely going to go through the circuit diagram, and not too sure. Do I want to? Not too sure. Anyone interested in the coding portion? I did some video before about the coding. Yeah, but not too sure. Yeah. Bye. Okay. Bye.